Hi, my name is Gus from Gus's Custom Creations, and today we'll take a look at the new table stand, the clamp model. We'll also have a look at what's in the box and how to assemble. Okay, if ordering, then once you get your parcel in the mail, it will come in a box similar to this. And for the actual weights and dimensions of the parcel, I'll put those up on screen now. Okay, and then once you've opened the box, and you'll find inside the stand all nicely packaged and wrapped up, nice and secure, so it should arrive safe and sound. So what I'll do now is I'll get this unwrapped, lay it out there on the table, and then we can go through all of the contents, and then we can look at the beginning, the assembly. Okay, once you've unwrapped the parts and laid them out in front of you, they'll basically be like this. We can run through them now. So here we have the base, we have the upright, a support bracket, the horizontal arm, the mounting plate for the clamp, we have the clamp main body, the clamp moving jaw, we have some knobs, so we have a large flower shaped 8mm knob, two square 8mm knobs, one square 6mm knob. We have a selection of washers and screws and bolts for assembling the stand. We have our bolt with a knob on the end. We have a tool which is used in conjunction with the large flower-shaped knob for tightening should it be required. And we also have a couple of pieces of sandpaper which is used in the maintenance. So now we'll begin to assemble it. Okay, to assemble the stand we'll start off with the base, and we'll have a closer look at this now. Okay, now we can have a closer look now at the base for the clamp style table stand. On top you can see that we have these three holes. This one is slightly larger than these two, so this one is larger than these two, and these two are for wood screws to come into the upright, and then this is for the alignment pin which is installed into the upright. On the underside we can see that these two holes which are for the screws have countersinks in them. This is to accept the heads of the screws, and this is the one for the alignment pin. This base comes with 3 feet pre-cut into the base so that it always sits flat on your table, and you get my little logo there. Okay, so we have the base. Next thing we'll need is the upright, so we'll have a closer look at this one as well. Okay, having a look at the upright, we can see that we have a recessed area here, which is where the horizontal arm will sit when it's installed to the upright, with a bolt through this hole. We also have this bolt sticking out of the side. This is to take the support bracket. On the other side of the upright we have the hole here for locating and securing the horizontal arm. You'll notice that there's a square there which has been machined into the wood. Now this square is to accept the square profile here which is found underneath the head of the bolt. Now that square profile should sit down inside that square in the wood when it's installed properly. So for example like this, that's it properly secured or installed, but when it's sitting proud like this, it just means you have to rotate the bolt slightly until it drops into the hole. Then on the bottom of the upright we have 2 pre-drilled holes for the screws here and here, and then we also have the alignment pin which locates into the base. Okay, so now we'll install the upright to the base. So we take the base and the upright with the alignment pin, put the alignment pin into the hole in the base. Then we can take our two 40mm wood screws, put them into the holes with the countersink, and then we can just start them into the holes in the upright by hand. Then we will need just a normal Phillips screwdriver and drive them in. There we go. That's all they need. So there we have the base with the upright installed. As you can see, the stud for the support bracket is facing the way that the long side of the base is facing. So next thing we'll look at is the support bracket. Now this support bracket has quite a few holes in it, and it can be installed onto this bolt in this direction, or this direction on any of those holes to adjust the height of the arm. So we basically put that on like this. Take one of the 8mm steel washers and put that on. Take one of the square 8mm knobs, and before we install this one, we'll have a quick closer look. Okay, here we have the knobs and the tool for the knobs. This is the one that we'll use to attach the arm to the upright. And here you can see on this face we have an indentation, a hexagonal hole, and a nut at the bottom. Same on this one. Now when the knobs get installed, this is the surface that should be looking out at you once you've got it tight. On the other side we can see that it's flat with just a small hole. That goes against the steel washer when you're installing it. And like I say, once it's tight, this is the face that should be looking at you. Now on this one we have some additional indentations on the side, and those are designed to be used with the tool just in case you need it. You shouldn't need it, but just in case you can't get it quite tight enough by hand, you can put that in there and those pins engage in those indents, and then you can use this as a handle to tighten it or loosen it. So I've also heard back from a couple of ladies who received their stand, and when they found their knobs they saw that the nut at the bottom had actually moved up and was level up here somewhere. And I can only assume that that's through vibration during transportation, because the nuts are just a press fit inside that hole. So if you end up with a knob that has a nut that has moved, you just simply push it back down to the bottom, similar to this one, and then once you tighten it up, the tightening will pull that nut all the way to the bottom of the knob and seat it securely. With the indentation facing out, we'll put that on there. Just spin it up. Make sure the support bracket is up, straight up and down, and then just snug that up like this. As you can see, the indentation is out. Next thing we need is the horizontal arm. So we'll take a closer look now. You can see here that we have the side with the logo looking up, and this is referenced in the assembly instructions as a way to properly orient the arm during installation. We have the bolt hole for mounting, and then a slot which is there to allow adjustability to suit your working position. On the other side of the arm we can see here the unoiled surface, and again this is referenced in the assembly instructions, and this surface occasionally will need some maintenance. So in the kit when you get it, there'll be a couple of strips of sandpaper just to get you started, And we use this to abrade this surface just to roughen it up so that it gets a better grip. But it's important that this surface stays flat, so just thinking of what we can use to back up the sandpaper that generally most people will have, you know, probably something like a butter knife or something similar. So you take your sandpaper, just put it over the end of the tool you're using, take the unoiled surface and just gently rub it. It doesn't have to be too hard, just rub it like this, just to abrade that surface slightly. Blow off any dust, and then take a damp shop towel, such as this, and then just dab that surface like this until it's wet, and then just allow that to dry. It shouldn't take too long. And what that does is it causes the wood fibres to stand up slightly, which causes a slightly rougher surface, and then when we put that together with the other half, it creates a very strong connection. So to install the arm, we need a 8mm bolt installed into the top of the upright. We just make sure that the square shoulder is engaged in its hole. We then take the horizontal arm with the logo facing to the left if you have the stand oriented the same as here, and just place that there. Then we need a 8mm steel washer. That just goes on there against the arm. Take the second 8mm square knob, and with the indentation facing out, just put that on there and spin it up like that. Just needs to be snug. And there we have the arm. Next thing we'll take a look at is the support bracket for the clamp. So we can take a closer look now. Okay, here we've got the base plate for mounting the clamp assembly. And here we can see the second unoiled area that mates with the horizontal arm, and this surface is maintained in the same way that I demonstrated for the horizontal arm. On the other side, we can see that the mounting bolt hole also has a machine square in it, and again the square under the head of the bolt will locate into that square. And then we also have a 6mm hole there, and that's used for mounting the clamp to this mounting plate. So with this we need the last 8mm bolt. We'll install that through this side, and again we'll just make sure that the square profile is located in the hole for it. And now we'll install this so that we have this unoiled surface mating against this unoiled surface. So we just bring those two together like this. Then we take our large steel washer, place that over the bolt like this. Take our large flower shaped knob, again with the indentation facing out. So we just spin that up against that and just snug it up. Okay. So our next order of operation is to assemble the clamp. So we can have a closer look at this now. So we have the main body and the moving jaw. And taking a closer look now at the main body, we'll see that at the bottom this profile is actually a dovetail. And within the body we have this recessed hole, which also has a small square machined into it. So when you put the 6mm bolt into that hole, the head should not sit like that. It should drop down into that recess so that this face is clear. Then we take the moving jaw, which also has its dovetail on the bottom, engage that with this one, slide it on, and then it's retained with that dovetail. We then take the bolt with the knob on the top and the steel washer, insert that through the top of the clamp like this, and begin to screw that in to the bottom moving jaw. And then, as you'll see, it actually comes out of the bottom. And then this is how you adjust the clamp to hold your hoops and Q-snaps. Okay, so we'll assemble this now. So we take our 6mm bolt, drop that into the hole, orient it so that the square drops into the hole fully. Then we take our moving jaw, and with the dovetail connection just slide that on there so that it's captured. Then we need the bolt with the knob on top. Take our last 8mm steel washer and just drop that on there like that. Take this, install it through there, and then just spin it up just to get it started. Okay. Then we need our 6mm washer, our 6mm knob, and then we'll take this and install the 6mm bolt into this 6mm hole, and then we just need to sort of grab the bolt and make sure that it is seated in the head. Take our washer, install that, take our 6mm knob, and spin that up. And there we have it. So the tool that goes with the square knob, as I mentioned earlier, you can actually use this if required to just give this an extra bit of tightness if required, and also to loosen this knob if required. So there she is. I'll show you some of the functionality of the stand. So we have the clamp itself, which is fully adjustable just by the one knob for tightening and loosening. And in the jaws you can hold hoops and also Q-snaps. This 6mm knob here, by loosening this, allows you to rotate the clamp so that you can easily access the back of your work for back stitching, etc. It can be locked in any position you like if you'd like to have your work on an angle. The only caveat I would say with this is, because this knob is square, if you tighten it against your work and you have the 2 points of the square like this, when you come to turn it, there's a slight interference there from the corner. So the best thing is to just make sure it's aligned this way, square, and then it rotates freely without any issue. This knob here, the flower shaped one, will allow you to position the head any way you like. This knob here allows you to move the arm in or out, depending how you like to use it. And with this support bracket and all of the holes and the ability to orient it whichever way, it gives you a lot of adjustability for the height of the arm as well. So there we go. That is the clamp. I hope you like it.